So we'll have a strap ready for a bit later, and then we'll have our bricks like so. So let's be kind to ourselves this Monday morning. So one brick quite flat and vertical alignment. So that one's going to go between your shoulder blades. My bricks are a little bigger than normal yoga bricks. So normal yoga bricks are a little bit better for this. So on the flat part of your upper back between your shoulder blades. So start sitting with your knees bent, and then this second brick will support the head. So if you'll need to fidget a little bit. Morning, Ali. Come and lay over your brick. So the brick should feel as if it's along the spine, right in the middle. And high enough up that it doesn't feel as if it's pressing into the lower ribs. So you really want it, and you can just push it up a little bit between the shoulder blades. And then there's a sort of yummy, yucky sensation. It should feel quite nice, but also can feel quite strong if you're tight in your upper back. And then you can have the other brick either on its middle edge or flat as well, depending on how that feels for you. And the chin should be perpendicular to the floor. So we don't want the head tipping back or tucking in too much. And then let the arms just come out to the sides. If, like me, you've got a wall in the way, then you'll have to improvise. And see if you can get that sensation of draping your upper body over the brick. And get that sensation of the shoulder blades just sliding down to the floor. And you'll notice if you start to focus on your breath, can you feel an opening sensation in the chest, the pectoral muscles? And if you turn the palms up, and you can have the elbows bent and drawn in a little bit, and then maybe the hands kind of in line with the shoulders, so that you feel an opening even into the deepest part of the shoulder joint. Feel the back of the neck long as you allow the head to get heavy into the brick. And start to just focus on your breath. So even if you're using a cushion or a rolled up towel instead of the brick, which is also fine, there should be this sense of almost feeling a stretch at the diaphragms, lower part of the rib cage at the front, an opening in the collarbones as the shoulder blades start to drape towards the floor, either side of your brick. And that might just be a sensation, it might not be actually happening. If you find that your hands are floating in midair, just take them down, further down towards the waist or the hip line. Yeah. So we don't want the elbow and the hand to be floating in midair. You want the arms to be relaxed on the floor. Close your eyes and start to just focus on the breath coming in, full inhale. And feel those lower ribs broaden as the diaphragm descends, the collarbones open. And with your exhale, see if you can allow the upper bit back to sink a little more towards the earth. Taking a couple more steady breaths. Allowing the body to open. I've taken the inspiration this morning from looking out into my garden and noticing that spring is starting to think about burgeoning. The camellias are in really full bud, about to open out. And it reminded me of the symbolism of a lotus flower in a lot of Eastern philosophy and in yoga. The lotus bud rises up out of the mud, and as the flower opens, it's so clean and white and pure that it's associated with rebirth and with purity, which is a lovely concept as we come into spring, and you can start to feel the change in seasons. So just drawing your attention to sort of your heart center, this center that really opens up when we do a shoulder opening practice like this. And see if you can imagine right in the center of the sternum, a camellia bud, if that's familiar to you, or a lotus flower, just starting to open as you draw the breath deeper and you feel an opening through the body. We get so tight in the upper back and in the chest, especially through the winter. We're sitting a little bit more than normal. And as you inhale, see if you can feel that sense of the bud opening into a full flower. Seeing if we can connect with nature as we connect with our bodies. Just take another couple of breaths there. See if you can let the body just release over your bricks or your props. Lovely. And with your next inhale, take the arms and just sweep them overhead. So it doesn't matter if you're nowhere near the floor, with your arms, just feel an opening, a stretching from the hips to the fingertips. And then on your next exhale, bring the hands down and just palms down, tuck the thumbs just underneath your hips, bend the elbows and start to push up off the bricks. Slowly, slowly. If it's easier, just roll to the side. And then you can bring your bricks or your pillows in and make a chair, a little seat, and just sit cross-legged if that's available to you. If your knees aren't very happy or your hips aren't happy in this position, then you can have one leg straight or both legs straight. And just broaden the seat a little bit. So if you just internally rotate the upper thigh, broaden the flesh of the buttocks a little bit wider, you feel that you have a better connection through your sit bones into the earth. Morning. And let's take hold of the strap. So we want to feel that the spine is aligned over the pelvis. So just feel, can you get heavy through the sit bones and then feel as if the tips of the ears, the back of the skull are lengthening towards the ceiling. So you feel nice and upright. And we want to see if we can keep that sense that we've just started to open the collarbones, draw the shoulder blades into the back of the heart center a little. And keep that sense of opening through the chest as we work through a couple of shoulder openers here. So I think it's really nice, even if you can, if you're really open in the shoulders and you can do Garudasana arms, which we're going to do now, it's really nice to use the strap. So just have the strap over one shoulder, it doesn't matter which one. And if you take the arms out to the side, turn the left thumb down to the floor, and bring it into the small of your back and take hold of the strap. So I'm going to do the opposite, we'll all do the same side. Take the right arm alongside your ear and see if you can keep the elbow pointing to the ceiling as you bend the elbow and take your hand to the strap. And then just make sure you haven't changed all of that lovely alignment. So can you feel that you're heavy through your sit bones? Again, the back of the skull lengthening, the tips of the ears lengthening to the ceiling. So sometimes we'll do this in order to try and find ourselves at the right position. And then wiggle the hands towards each other without any discomfort. So we don't want to feel uncomfortable, but you want to feel tall and upright. If you have a stretchy band like me, it's a little bit easier because you walk the hands towards each other and then you can relax into it. Nice. So feel as if the left elbow is drawing down towards the floor, the right elbow up towards the ceiling. Tone the tummy muscles a little bit so that the lower rib cage just draws in a little bit. And then feel a lengthening through the spine. And if it feels good, you might be able to just press the back of your skull into your right wrist. Get a little bit more length. So close your eyes and once again, just notice a steady, smooth, even breath as you allow the shoulders just to open up. Lovely. Drawing the belly back, try not to arch the back too much. One more breath. And we'll come out of it the way that we went in. So release the right hand, take the arm up, bring it out to the side, release the left hand out, thumb down, And then turn thumbs up, thumbs down, palms down. Yeah, and you'll just feel that you open up and mobilize into the shoulder joint a little bit. Lovely. Great. And you can keep the strap where it is, or you can change it to the other shoulder. Take the arms out, turn the right thumb down this time. Take the hand into the lower back, palm facing out, and find the strap. So if, like me, you're right side dominant, right-handed, you'll find that this right shoulder is wanting to stay closed. It's going to be a little bit tighter. So see if you can lift the front of the shoulder just away from the floor a little bit and tuck that shoulder blade in. It shouldn't be painful. And then taking the left arm alongside the ear, bend the elbow. See if you can feel that the left elbow still points to the ceiling and find the strap. And then walk the hands together. And it doesn't matter if that's really different from the other side. Feel as if the right elbow is drawing towards the floor, the left elbow towards the ceiling. And again, take the back of the throat back, the back of the skull back, tips of the ears lengthening, back of the neck lengthening, and draw the tummy muscles in so that the lower ribs just draw back a little bit. And then find a steadiness to the breath. Can you relax the shoulders? So we try not to arch the upper back. And if it feels a bit too much, then just draw the right hand down towards the floor a little bit more. And find a steadiness to the breath. So sometimes if it's tight and a bit challenging, we'll hold on to the breath. So can you let the breath flow freely, smoothly? And then we'll come out the way that we went in. So release the left arm, release the right hand, thumbs down, thumbs up, palms down. And just feel that ease through the joint. Lovely, roll the shoulders a little bit. Take the arms out again, palms up. And this time we cross the elbows, leave the strap where it is for a moment. Cross the elbows and we'll do Garudasana arms, eagle arms. So as you turn the palms away from each other, really tuck the elbows in and bring the backs of the arms towards each other. Now that might be enough for you. That's it. Doesn't matter which one's on top for me. The left one is on top, just remember. And if you can, you might take the fingers to opposite thumb and wrap around a little bit more if that's available to you. Great. And then see if you can have a shoulder roll here. So see if you can get a little bit of movement, lifting the shoulders, rolling them just a little. And then draw the shoulder blades down into the back of the heart. See if even in this position, you can just open the collarbones a little bit. Lift the elbows away from you, feel a stretch in the upper back, and just let the chin drop. So as you lift the elbows away from you and upwards just a little, let the head drop, give it a shake, take tension out of the neck. And take a deep breath into the upper back, the space between your shoulder blades. Okay. One more breath like that. And then release the hands, open up the arms, turn the palms up. Feel the shoulder blades just squeeze in together. Release any tension in the neck and then change the cross of the elbows. So for me, it's the right one on top. Bend the elbows, take the backs of the hands towards each other, squeeze in, and if you can, then opposite fingers to the thumb, and you can wrap through the hands as well. Great. So as you hug the forearms together, hug the hands together, can you get a sense of the shoulder blades still drawing into the back of the heart a little bit, the collarbones opening, and then drop the chin as you lift the elbows away. So you get a stretch in the upper back, but you should feel that there's some muscle engagement around the shoulder joint. And target your breath to that upper back, that space between your shoulders. And then let's unravel, open up the arms. Great. And then take hold of your strap. And as you have the hands wider than the shoulders, here we're just going to get a little bit of scapular control. So first of all, just connect the lower ribs to the pelvis. So we're not letting the belly go, you're drawing the tummy muscles in so that the spine stays supported and straight. And then as you take the arms up, can you shrug the shoulders, keep the elbows straight, and then draw the shoulders down. So you're going to shrug the shoulders, draw the shoulders down. So it's a little bit of scapular control. So we're not using the elbows. That's it. So shrug the shoulders up, keep the arms straight, and then draw them down. Good. So you'll feel the lats and the lower trapezius work. So if I show you from the back what's happening with your muscles. So you've got some tension in the strap and the elbows are straight, and you shrug and then you draw them down and shrug and draw them down. So you're controlling the movement of the scapulae, sliding up the ribs and then sliding them down, and hold it down. So you next time you slide them down, elbows straight, hold it down. Good. And see if you can feel the space right at the bottom of the trapezius, so around the bottom of the rib cage, squeezing the shoulder blades, the tips of the shoulder blades into the spine. It's quite hard work. Can you release tension in your neck? Lovely. Take another breath here. And then release. Well done. And just loosen out any tension there. So come on to hands and knees. Just have a pad for knees if you need to, if you've got a hard floor. Take hands underneath shoulder, knees underneath hips. And just support the spine. So drawing the belly in, and again, just drawing the lower ribs in to support the spine, having a nice flat back here. So instead of doing our normal cat-cow, which is arching and rounding the whole spine there, we're going to do that scapular control again. So we want to keep the elbows bent. This time the arms are out in front instead of overhead. And push the floor away. So you want to feel as if your shoulder blades are sliding off the floor. No, sliding off your back. And you're rounding your upper back, and you should feel a little stretch in that area where we had the bricks earlier on. And then without bending the elbows, can you slide the shoulder blades towards each other, squeeze them in so the chest comes down towards the floor. That's it. And then push the floor away, the upper back rounds, that's it. And then squeeze the shoulder blades in. So don't bend the elbows, keep the elbows straight and squeeze the shoulder blades into the back of the heart, that's it. And push away. So you're just sliding. Again, if I show you from the back, I don't know if you can see, your arms are out front. You're squeezing the shoulder blades in, and then you're pushing the floor away and rounding the upper back. So that's the movement. So we're really targeting the muscles that stabilize the shoulder girdle, the rhomboids, the upper traps. Lovely. Try a couple more. See if you can really feel that movement in the back of the heart center, the shoulder blades sliding. Lovely. And then come to stillness here. And if you've got some space, if not, move, step the right foot out to the side. So the right leg is straight, the foot in line with the knee. So we're in that gate pose foundation. Hands stay underneath the shoulders. And just do a couple more cat-cows. So here your shoulder blades draw in, but this time lift the collarbones, lift the gaze, lift the sit bones. And as you exhale, push into the floor. Feel the shoulder blades slide off your back again, but this time the whole spine is rounding, tuck the chin and the tailbone. Inhale, lengthen, shoulder blades squeeze in. Exhale, pull the belly muscles in, round the spine, tuck the chin. Do one more. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Coming into center, so flat back again, support the spine with drawing up your belly, and lift the right arm up to the center, push into the up to the ceiling, push into the left hand, open up, keep the legs firm, and then thread the right arm underneath and through, and you'll feel that stretch through the inner thigh on that right side. Just do two more with your breath. Inhale, open up. Keep the left hand strong. Exhale, squeeze and reach through. Last one. Lifting. And thread through. And then bring the right hand underneath the shoulder. And bring that right knee in. And then we'll take that to the other side. So stepping the left foot out in line with the right knee, supporting the spine with your belly. Let's do a couple of cat-cows. So inhale, lengthen, opening up the sit bones, the collarbones. Exhale, letting the shoulder blades slide off the rib cage as you pull the belly up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, push the hands into the floor. Let the shoulder blades slide off as you tuck chin and tailbone. Last one. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, push the floor away. Come into neutral, supporting the spine with your belly muscles. And inhale, left arm reaches up as you twist. See if you can stack the shoulders. And exhale, reach the fingertips through into a twist. And just move with your breath. Do a couple more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Lovely. And underneath the shoulder, knee comes back in. And just walk the knees back a tiny little bit. Ground through the hands, inner edges of the hands, thumb, forefinger, rooting down, and then lift the sit bones. Keep the knees bent for a moment. And then just paddle through the feet, stretching one heel at a time back as you bend the opposite knee. Lovely. And then lift the sit bones. Keep the knees bent here. So we want a lengthening from the hands all the way to the sit bones. And then relax the feet. So the heels might come down a little bit, but keep a bend in the knee. And here, can you slide the shoulder blades away from the ears? Great. Now this is quite strong, quite tricky. Feel as if you're rooting your hands down and then bend the elbows out wide. The head comes down to the floor just a little bit and then squeeze the shoulder blades into the back of the heart. Keep the shoulders there as you straighten the elbows again. So you should feel a little bit more connected to your shoulder blades. Just try that again. So bend the elbows out wide, hands super strong. The head comes down, squeeze the shoulder blades in towards the spine, away from your ears, and then keep them there as you root the hands back into the floor. Yeah, nice. Downward facing dog. And then bend the knees as you walk the hands back to the feet, grounding through the heels. And if you can, grab one of your bricks. Place, as you straighten the legs, place the brick underneath your nose so that your torso is nice and straight. You can have a softness to the knees as well. If your back isn't very happy, then really bend deeply and bring the brick in a little bit closer to you if your back is a little stiff today or doesn't really like folding. Otherwise, you're going to be straight through the legs, straight through the spine, crown of the head forwards, and then start to take the hand to the sacrum and turn the torso to the left. So see if you can bring the right ribs through, the belly button through, and keep the hand on the sacrum for now, rooting back through both sit bones. So don't let the right hip collapse forwards. And then if it feels good to do so, you can take the left arm up. If that feels like you can't get comfortable there, keep your hand on your sacrum. Lovely. Can you wrap your left shoulder blade into the back of the heart? And then release. And just take a moment holding onto the elbows, soften the knees. And hang in ragdoll for a second. Take some of that tension out. And then as you hug the legs towards each other, tone the tummy muscles. Take the hand onto the brick underneath your nose, so the body's in an L shape. If that's not good on your back, just come in here a little bit more. Yeah. And then take the right hand to the sacrum. See if you can start to roll the right shoulder blade into the back, lifting the front of the shoulder. Great. And then start to twist the torso, rooting both sit bones back. Don't let that left hip sneak forwards. And take a couple of breaths here through the twist. Take the top arm up if it feels good to do so. Really squeeze the shoulder blades into the back of the heart, lengthen the crown forwards, and then release the hands, soften the knees, ragdoll. Nice. And then separate the hands, sweep them wide, bend the knees, and come all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, hands to the heart. Bring your bricks with you to the front of your mat. Take the hands to the back of the sacrum. So as you turn your palms into the back of the pelvis, fingertips down. Again, can you get that sense of squeezing the shoulder blades in towards each other? So you feel this opening through the front of the shoulder here. Great, so feel the collarbones open, draw the shoulder blades in and down to towards the hips a little bit. Great, so the neck feels longer, crown of the head lifting. What we tend to do, you might be able to see I've done it straight away, is to release the front of the body. So now we want to lengthen the tailbone and tone the tummy muscles. Great, so the lift comes from the base of the rib cage up, the base of the sternum up, but we're supporting the spine. Lovely. So see if you can keep all of that opening as you release the arms and take the arms up. Lovely. Now, as we fold, you've got a choice. If your back is stiff or feels a little bit vulnerable today, you're going to bend the knees. If you feel strong, hug the legs together and see if you can keep the body in a really straight line, arms either side of your ears as you come all the way down into forward fold. Lovely. It's a little bit stronger. Inhale, and again, come into that lovely perpendicular, torso perpendicular to the legs, parallel to the floor, and then exhale and fold, and you can soften the knees here. As you inhale and lengthen forward, step your left foot back and reach back through that heel, the left heel. You can grab your bricks here for a little bit more space. As you ground your hands into your brick, can you lengthen forwards? And again, feel that sense of drawing the shoulder blades into the back of the heart. So bring your right foot forwards a bit more, Ali, so that it's underneath the knee. Yeah, so you've got a 90-degree angle here. There, yeah, so that's just a bit kinder to the knee. You could even come up onto the fingertips or come onto the higher angle of the brick to get the collarbones open, squeezing the shoulder blades into the back of the heart. Yeah, so you've got a lift here, opening up the front of the chest. So you can have the bricks as high as you need to and take another breath. And then drop that left knee down and sweep the arms up. Draw the arms in a circle, take the hands to the back of the sacrum again, opening up the front of the shoulders, lengthen the tailbone, drawing the belly in, and start to lift the chest, lift the sternum. Lovely. Taking the arms up, keeping all of that lift, supporting the spine. Nice, that looks great. Inhale, as you exhale, bricks to the side, hands to the floor. Lift the back knee and step back into plank and lower to your belly. Lovely. Take the hands as wide as your sticky mat. And before you come up into cobra, lift the shoulders away from the floor. Draw the shoulder blades in and down. Squeeze them in. Firm the legs. And then pressing into the hands, keeping the heart open. Inhale, cobra. We do that twice more. So lengthen down. Press into the hands. Squeeze the shoulder blades in. And then lift, inhaling into cobra. Great, exhale, release, last one. 10 toes, push into the floor. Shoulder blades squeeze in towards each other first. And then inhale. Lovely, exhale, release, press back and find downward facing dog. Again, you can paddle through the feet if that feels good. Lift the sit bones really high. Bend the elbows and the head drops down a little bit. Squeeze the shoulder blades in towards the heart. Slide them away from the ears and then straighten the elbows. Lovely. Downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg up to the ceiling. And as you exhale, step it forwards and find your bricks again. Hug the feet towards each other to square the pelvis so that left hip draws back. Feeling super strong through that back leg. And then can you, even in this position, maybe even on the fingertips, draw the shoulder blades into the back of the heart and then lengthen from the heel to the crown. Lovely. Can you feel that you're open through the collarbones? You haven't closed the front of your body. Lovely. Take another breath. And then drop the right knee down. Sweep the arms up, circle them around to take the hands to the sacrum. And as you lengthen the tailbone, squeeze the elbows towards each other, opening up the front of the body. Lovely. And then sweep the arms up. Great. Release the shoulders away from the ears a little bit, even though the elbows are straight. Take another 2 breaths. Inhaling, exhaling, bricks to the sides, hands to the floor, lift the back knee, step back to plank, lower to the belly. Take the hands a little bit wider and again, squeeze the shoulder blades in, open the collarbones, inhale, cobra. Lovely. Exhale, release and press back to downward facing dog. See if you can get that same feeling of shoulder blades drawing into the back of the heart, rooting into the hands and lifting the hips even higher. So the focal point of downward facing dog is the back of the heart. Often in standing poses, mostly it's the center of the pelvis, the core of the pelvis, but here it's that area between your shoulder blades. So from there, we want to root into the hands. From there, we lengthen back through the spine. Lovely. And then when you're ready, looking to the thumbs, you can jump or step. And inhale. Again, hands to the shins, high enough that you feel in right angles at the hips. And then exhale to fold. Sweep the arms wide, come all the way up to standing. As you support the spine, can you open up and look to the ceiling? And then exhale. Hands to the heart, lovely. Come into Tadasana mountain pose, so feet hip width apart. Standing tall, and again, can you feel an awareness in the back of the upper back of the rib cage, space between the shoulder blades. Just connect into the tummy muscles, so the bottom of the rib cage draws in, the belly muscles draw in, and see if you can keep that as we come into a thigh stretch. So you're going to take the weight onto your left foot, bend the right knee, use a strap area if it's painful. So can you come back to the ankle or the foot? Roll that right shoulder blade in again towards the spine, so that right shoulder is really open. And then see if you can draw the knees towards each other. Right, squeezing the shoulder blade in. Yeah, lovely. So we need to have the core on here, rooting through your left foot. And then from the sternum, lift the heart and take the left arm up. So we just keep it in a thigh stretch at the moment. Push the right foot into the hand a little bit. Can you squeeze that right shoulder blade in a little bit more? Open up the front of the right shoulder. Lovely. And take 2 more breaths. And then release. And come back to Tadasana. We'll try the other side. So we really want to, when we come into the thigh stretch, there are lots of things going on. There's balance, you might feel it really tight in the quad. What tends to happen is that we will release these muscles a little bit and arch the back. And we don't want that. We want to be trying to draw in so that the lift comes in the upper back, but the spine stays supported. So take the weight to the right foot. Start to reach back for your left foot or the front of the ankle. And then draw the knees towards each other as much as you comfortably can. So if that starts to really pull on your knee too much, then you might need to keep it just a little wider, but you're trying to keep the knees together. Then draw the belly muscles in and start to lift the heart as the shoulder blades squeeze into the back of the heart. Tips of the shoulder blades drawing in and down. Try not to, I can feel my belly wanting to let go. Try and keep it drawing in, lower ribs in as you take the left arm, right arm up. So you want to feel that you're really rooting your right foot into the floor, lengthening the tailbone, hugging the knees in, shoulder blades squeeze into the back, and then steady the breath. One more breath. Well done, everyone. And then release. And just release any tension there. So you can do the same thigh stretch, focusing on those areas, or if you want to, you can come into dancer, Natarajanasana with me. And your alternative here, if that's a bit tight, is just to loop the strap and take that into the back of your foot here. And that will give you a little bit more space. So here we're doing the same thing. You want to squeeze the shoulder blades into the back of the heart as much as you can. So the collarbones are super open. Toes falling over. And then coming into the thigh stretch first. Again, drawing the tummy muscles in, squeezing the shoulder blades into the back of the heart. So you feel an opening through the chest. And then you're going to start to push the foot into either the hand or the strap, so that you can really feel that right shoulder blade coming into the back of the heart. And then if you wish to, you can start to flex at the left hip, reaching forwards with the left fingertips. You really need to be pushing the foot into the hand for a bit of balance here. Core muscles on. Well done. Lovely. Can you get your torso parallel to the floor? Well done. Lovely. Take another steady breath. And then with control, release. Well done. So there is another version of this if you're feeling particularly open, where you have both hands either on the foot or on the strap. So you can bring the strap behind your head and then come into dancer like this. So this is another option for you. For very flexible people, the hands will be on the foot. Otherwise, come into the same version as you did before. So take your time from Tadasana to take the weight into the other foot. And then reaching back for your left foot. Is that the right side? Yeah. Shoulders back, Terry. Really, yeah, opening up through the heart and lifting. See if you can lift that thigh so that rather than the knee pointing down, the knee is pointing back to the back of your room. Yeah. Lovely. Take another breath and release. Well done. Well done. Let's come down to the floor. And come into child's pose. So come onto hands and knees and take the knees really wide, toes together, big toes together, and sit the hips back to the heels first. And then see if you can stay rooting back. And then walk the hands forwards and take the head down. So if you can't quite sit back, can you put a bolster underneath the thighs? So you could grab your bolster, Maggie, to root back into, okay, yeah, or a brick or a towel. But it's really nice to be able to feel that sense of rooting back. And even here in child's pose, particularly wide knee child's pose, there's the opportunity still to lengthen the torso. So can you feel that from the pubic bone to the chin, there's a little bit more length? So try taking the arms forwards. And if your shoulders are tight or pinched, you take the fingertips really wide so your hands can be off the mat. And as you tent, make a tent with the hands so the fingertips are on the floor, the palms are lifting. Press the fingertips down a little bit, and can you squeeze the shoulder blades in towards each other? Draw them down towards your hips, so the back of the neck is really long. And feel those muscles work and strengthen as you steady your breath. And then you can stay in wide knee child's pose, or you can come into what the Pilates call shell. It's child's pose. What we've been doing is extended child's pose. Bring the knees together and take the hands towards the heels. Now I'm not either long enough or bendy enough for my head to be on the floor in this position. So I've got a brick, but you're really rounding the spine and letting the backs of the arms release onto the floor. You could hold on to your heels. Yeah. And start to focus your breath on your back. So as you inhale, can you feel a little bit more space between each vertebra? One more breath there. And then start to transition into Shavasana, into your rest pose. So just coming onto your back. If your back feels still a little bit tight, then just hug the knees in. Have a little massage as you rock from side to side. And then let the arms come pretty wide if you've got the space. So not higher than your shoulders, but maybe in line with your shoulders or a little bit lower. And draw the shoulder blades underneath the rib cage so they feel flat and open, and you feel open still at the front of the shoulders. And then you can straighten your legs, have the feet wide. If that's too much on your back, then you can always take the feet wide and rest the knees together. And start to let the body really let go into the floor. And as you take one last really deep breath before letting go, breathe into your heart center and feel a sense of opening, like a lotus flower opening up, ready for the spring. Clear and pure. And then let go of your breath. Feeling relaxed, connected to your body, to nature. Start to breathe a little more deeply. Drawing your breath into every cell, even to the fingertips, to the tips of your toes, to the crown of your head. With your next in-breath, start to draw the feet towards each other. Get a little bit more energy in the body. Sweep the arms overhead. Maybe hug the knees in. And when you're ready, roll to the side. And come back to seated, hands together in front of your heart. And with great love and gratitude. Namaste.